So Medina's known for being frugal.
Now, I would call it cheap.
Like the one time he bought a MacBook computer out of the 7-Eleven parking lot.
Bruh.
It was a MacBook and it was at a Circle K. But the thing is that John just likes to spend a lot of money on expensive things.
Guys, so in this video, we're gonna show you how you can make a custom uniform for your birthday or special occasion. In our case, we're starting up a pickleball team and we have a $25 budget, but Mateen thinks he could do it for a lot cheaper than that.
I know I can.
So let's see if his project comes out better than my version. And at the end of this video, you guys will have two different options for you to do it from home. So let's get started. For the supplies Medine needs, he was able to get them from the local Walmart store for right under $25. You will also need a clothing iron though, so if you don't have one, you will have to budget for it. For the approach I'm taking, we're rolling with Printful, which is a print-on-demand platform that has factories all over the world. Now the best part about them is that you don't need an e-commerce store to start placing orders with them, and their website actually makes it really easy to navigate and find products for less than the $25 budget we set. I'm even gonna splurge a little bit and go with some of these heavyweight crew necks. Next thing we're gonna need is art files, and for the longest time Adobe was king, but today there's programs such as Kittl that are making it super easy for you to start designing online, and they have a way lower subscription fee cost than Adobe has. But before we start designing, we will have to decide on a name for our pickleball team.
For underdogs for the Wake Up Boys, I like that.
The underdogs?
Underdogs.
So underdogs, backhand boys.
Underdogs, backhand boys, gunners.
The gunners, huh? We decided to go with the Las Vegas Underdogs, so we want to create a design that really embodies that. Now, I'm not a graphic design expert, and for that reason, we're going to use Kittl templates in order to create the art that we need for production. Now with Kittl, you're able to browse different templates and even make original ones using AI. Now we linked the video in the cards up above to show you more in-depth features, but for this design, we're gonna look through their t-shirt templates and the sports team catalog that they have. So the design that immediately stood out to me was a dog with the tennis rackets. So we're gonna use this as our foundation for the Las Vegas Underdogs. Now these Kittl themes work great as you could just click and edit the design to make it your own. So for this, we're gonna write Las Vegas at the top, and what we're gonna wanna do though is we're gonna wanna align the new font to make it symmetrical. On the right panel, you have options to do curves, change colors, even add new text effects. And you could also adjust text spacing to make any necessary adjustments. And once we're happy with the top spacing of the letterings here, we're gonna do the same thing to the underdog design at the bottom. Now we're gonna be messing with the arc here a little bit. And we want to start messing with the lettering until we feel like it truly looks like ours. And if you ever make a mistake and want to go back, it uses the same commands as Adobe or Illustrator did with the Control-Z, or you can use these little arrows at the bottom of the screen. To wrap up our design edit, we will change our years to 2024. And next, we're going to begin to play with the background colors. Now these background colors will allow us to visualize how the design is going to look on the color of a garment we're thinking. Now for this design, I think it's really going to look legit on a red sweater. And imagine showing up to a pickleball game in a red crew neck. So I'm gonna make adjustments and change that color to a red so we can see how our design looks against a red crew neck. Last but not least is we wanna choose the proper colors for the rest of our design. We want it to really pop up against our t-shirts. But remember what they say, art is in the eye of the beholder, so just do you. Now one thing we're gonna add is the paddle boards in the background of the dog. Now since this wasn't an element we were able to just pick from Google, we do have to make this really quickly and then import it into Kittl. Once we import them into Kittl, we're gonna start making some adjustments to these paddles until it starts looking beautiful. And to verify that we like the direction that we just created, we're actually gonna use this little mock-up feature that Kittl has. And by using this, you can actually select the garment style you're thinking about, and you can make any necessary design changes before you download your graphics. For me, these mock-ups solidified our direction and tells me that we're ready to go to print. Now when it comes to formatting your art for the printed transfers you're gonna make from home, you will have to make some quick adjustments before you start printing them on your home printer. One thing to keep in mind with dark transfers is that you're gonna wanna outline anything that is in white. Now since these dark transfers have a white background, any design that you don't outline will actually disappear into the paper. You'll see what this means in a minute when we print these out. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna simply outline the white numbers, letters, and these stars. Anything that's gonna disappear if it stays white. And once we have the outlines completed, we're actually gonna start a new project and format our artboard to an 8.5 inch by 11. This is the size of a printer paper. and we're actually going to select 300 DPI in order to get the best resolution file. This file type and setting will allow us to print at home with an inkjet printer. Now you can use any design program to do these steps, but just make sure you can export your design with a transparent background and it properly fits on the page you're printing. And the best file to export is in PNG, as it will allow you to keep transparency in your design. Now, when it comes to using light transfer sheets, you want to keep the same formatting rules that we talked about, but you will want to mirror the design in order for this to work. You'll see why in just a moment. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that any white in the design is going to show up as transparent. So you have to change the white details to a color if you want them to appear. So for that reason, we're gonna make adjustments to our star and make them gold here. And now that we have final artwork for both the dark transfer and light transfer sheets, I'm gonna send it over to Medine so he can get them printed. One thing to keep in mind, guys, is you will need an inkjet printer. This doesn't work on laser. Those have cartridges. You need real ink coming out in order to put to this paper. So since we don't have one, Medine's gonna have to run a mission next door and get this printed out with our neighbor.
I'm gonna print on these bad boys. Go ahead and do a dark and a light print. Now this is an inkjet printer. It's got ink in it. That means that you can print on this. There's a lot of these. So I'm gonna just load up one. So I'm gonna load that bad boy up. Let's go ahead and print this. This is the Wake Up and Win Underdogs on the dark transfer. Here we go. Hope I did it right. Oh. Thing is possessed. Oh, it's printing on a regular paper. A lot of people ask, does this work on regular paper? No, it doesn't. I wouldn't try it. This looks really bad. Okay, so now we're gonna use the right paper. Put your paper, transfer paper, there. Now, go ahead and print. We printed it the wrong way. It's printed on this side. Make sure you put it face down, the back side face down. This is really complicated. Like, we only have 2 or 3, so we're just gonna have to spend about $7,000. I think we did it. There's these ugly lines in it, but it still worked. Ew. That looks horrible. So what I did was I printed this incorrectly, so it went horizontal, and we got cut off here on the top and the bottom, if you can see, right? So what we're gonna do here is make sure that when we go to print, make sure that it's in proper orientation, portrait mode. It's important. So now we're gonna use another paper because this was what, $45? So we wasted that. We're gonna go ahead and load it up the same way we did before. Put it back into the printer, slide her in. There we go. Make sure it's in portrait mode. Yeah, if I keep doing this, I'm pretty much gonna be rich by 2045. Yeah, if you have a birthday coming up next year, you'll definitely be ready for that. You know, I got like a nice effect of like broken Windows 95. So this should look really great on the t-shirt that it'll ruin. Okay, this is done. All right, everybody. You saw me have my struggle session trying to print these things out. These are the dark transfers. This is what I'm going to cut using my butter cutter that we have available on our TikTok shop that we just launched. It's a nifty little DIY cutting tool for any kind of craft purposes, vinyls, and apparently for transfers. All right, here we go. Starting out with this butter cutter here, starting here at the top right corner, and I'm gonna start making my way across. So as I make my way through, I'm gonna try to give myself a little bit of wiggle room to cut in along the side here. Keep her straight, bring her right back around, and like Emerald Lagasse says, for all you old people, bam, I made that corner nice and easy as I keep flipping through here, slinging it around. Buttercutter's doing its job right now, man. As I cut through this, make the home stretch here. Ooh, I'm about to finish it off. Get right to the end. All right, so that first design is cut out. Here we go, drum roll, please. Don't get mad at me if this doesn't work, okay? Here we go. It's working! Oh! Oh, you love to see that. There we go, nice and easy, nice and easy. You might be saying to yourself, Dean, why don't you just use scissors? Not where I'm from. We don't do that. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, boom! This is a dark paper cut. It is completed and ready to go. Another thing that you need to make sure you remember is that when you're using this kind of a transfer, the white background that you can see here, any kind of white that's on these dark transfers will transfer 1-to-1 onto your shirt. It'll look just how it looks right here. So keep that in mind. This is what you will see when you transfer it onto your shirt. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to learn because I'm about to show you. All right, everybody, we have this new design. You saw how the other one came out and that doesn't look too good. So what I'm gonna do here is be very careful and use these shears, and as much as I possibly can, I'm gonna cut into this design, cutting out as much white as possible. Keep in mind that with this design, we kept it simple, so that way it should be easier for me to cut out. We're gonna give it a shot. Using my shears, let's go ahead and begin cutting. If I am able to get this to look really decent, then you at home should be a masterclass. Now I'm gonna try to get around these curved edges, which is a little bit trickier, especially with these big old shears. As I'm cutting through here, I'm gonna try to loop around without destroying the design too much. I'm really surprised at myself keeping it right on the edge without destroying the design. I'm doing pretty good so far. What do you guys think? Looks pretty good. Take a look at that. Right? Keep it nice and clean here. Look at that. Come on. John needs to start paying me more. This is great. I think now these shears, they're doing great for me so far, but I'm kind of like doing this kind of deal here. So what I'm gonna do is bring in my butter cutter. Explosion. I'm bringing it around here. Am I keeping you nice and calm while I make my cuts? I hope so. At this rate, I will be able to make a shirt for a team of 12 in about 3 weeks. Now, as far as the design is concerned, I ran into some challenges when I got really close into the letters here. And as I got closer, you get to notice that it's pretty not clean. It's got a lot of lumps and there's white parts still left over. It's not pleasing to the eye the closer you get, to be 100% honest. But it got the job done. And if this is your method of going about it, just be aware to make designs as simple and clean as possible and not too many intricate little details, because you'll run into what I just ran into and have to do something that cuts out all this crap, right? So just keep that in mind if you are gonna use this method. Keep it simple. Okay, I think we're ready to press. So now I went ahead and placed my design. It's centered the way I like it. I'm gonna make sure I have my sheet that it came with the package on top of my design. Now I'm gonna grab my iron, nice and hot, make sure it's ready to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and press this for about 2 minutes. All right, here we go. Keep it nice and firm. Did my best to place everything nice and straight. As I keep going here, I'm gonna make sure I get all 4 corners of the design. Now I'm gonna kind of just wrap around. Yes, so when I first dropped this iron onto the design, I dropped it dead center and I held it down so I could let some of the design have the adhesive go into the shirt so it could hold itself and place itself. So as I slide around, it doesn't slide with me, so I don't move the design. Okay, so now I'm gonna let this dry or get cold. Give it a minute, maybe 2 minutes. Let it get cool before you peel it, because this is cold peel. Always keep that in mind with every design, because if it's not a cold peel and you rip it when it's hot, your design is gonna come up with it. We don't want that.
Now, when it comes to making your shirts with print on demand, you start by creating a free Printful account through the links that we included down below. With that link, you're actually able to get an exclusive discount on your first sample, and you can actually manage your entire catalog. And once you sign into your account, you'll see a dashboard that looks something like this. Now, you have an option to order different products at different prices to make the most of your budget. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna go with the unisex heavy blend hoodie, which has a higher price tier, but honestly, I wanna get a little bit better quality. And we're gonna order that in red and select DTG Printing as a method of printing. This allows you to go full color on any design. Next, we're gonna upload our original design file, as we don't need to adjust this for DTG printing. As long as you export it as a high resolution file, you're good to go. And once you upload your design, you're able to adjust the size of your print. Now, I personally want to go as big as possible, which is a big pro about using this strategy, as you're not limited to a piece of paper size. You can actually go as big as you want, as long as it stays within these boundaries. And with our design confirmed, it's now time to place our order. Now the cool part about Printful is that they have something called Merch Share, which allows you to design a product and send it to your friends or family for them to choose their size and shipping location. You can also decide who pays for the order, and the really cool part about Merch Share is that you can start making gear for any occasion. I want to show you how that works really quickly. So once you design your product template, you can actually click up here and you can go to share your product. Once you're happy with your design, you can go to your catalog and you can actually share that product template. You can write up a message, copy this link, and then you can email it or text it to anybody that needs to respond to it. And once somebody receives that link, they're gonna get it in the message like this. Now, all they gotta do is simply select their size, input their shipping address, and the product is gonna be shipped directly to them. Now, our order recently came in as Medine was filming his portion of this video. So let me show it to him and see what he thinks. All right, Medine, my product came in, bro.
Oh, snap. Let's get a look.
This is the version that I made you. I saw what you made. It looked a little elementary school.
It looked a little amazing.
Birthday special. Here's what I made you.
Oh, damn. Oh, okay. Now, I would actually wear this proudly. I'm being serious. This is sick, dude. How was this made with?
This is DTG.
Direct to garment. Slick, man. This is really cool, man.
I didn't have to cut nothing out, nothing.
Yes.
It was just there.
So don't knock mine, but this is way better, man. Thank you, man.
You like it?
Yes,
all right,
appreciate it, bro.
As you guys can see, home transfer paper is a good option if you're in a pinch and you need to get products out quickly. But you need to keep in mind that your design needs to be super simple. Don't do anything too intricate or it's gonna really not be worth your time and energy. Another major pro for this method is that your budget can go far. For a $25 budget, you can make 3 shirts, and honestly, it's a pretty good deal. Now, major cons to this printing method is that durability-wise is not that durable. After about the 10th wash, you'll start to see that it starts to crack and fade, unless you're being really careful with washing it. And guys, let's face it, how careful are we with washing our clothes? Now, another major con is the fact that the time commitment you're gonna spend on doing this method will far outweigh the money that you're probably gonna save. Unless you're keeping your design super simple, I wouldn't recommend this method. But when it comes to print on demand and direct-to-garment printing, the results are amazing. All of the graphics, the little details, the wreaths, everything really shows up nicely. You can go full color and you can even have sharp little details because the print method to this works a lot like a photography printer. It literally is printing a photo on top of a design. So it has no design limitations. And another pro is that you can get quality professional print shop looking garments with little effort on your end. As long as you create a good design, that design will show through on the garment that you choose. But a major con to using print on demand is the fact that you will need to have some lead time. You have to have some days ahead of time leading up to the order arriving to your door. Expect anywhere from a 7 to 10 day window from the day that you place your order to actually get your order. And this can be a con if you're in a pinch, so you do have to plan ahead. But for a $25 budget, you really have 2 routes to take right now, guys. You can DIY it and create a garment that's a one-time use, or you can leave it to the professionals and create something that's quality and lasting for years to come. I personally know which method I'll be using. Let me know which method you're gonna be considering in the comments down below. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button to be notified of future videos on building your brand from home. And if you're interested in expanding your product collections and really growing an e-commerce brand, check out this video here where we dive into details on how to increase your profit margins using print on demand.